Hi guys, this is kbunschoten, the founder and CEO of Certum Solutions here in North Carolina, and we are coming to you today with our January QuickBooks Online updates video. But first, a couple little notes. We don't have a ton of huge updates this month. They're more of some polishings and polished updates, I suppose. Some of them I'm not going to be able to demo, so we'll go ahead and talk about those, and then the ones that I can demo, I will go ahead and do afterwards. That being said, I wanted to share something that happened. We had a rough morning this morning, or I did, just life, and I was feeling kind of down when I came into work this morning, and I had a note from my 8-year-old son. Mom, I love you so very much, and you will be the best mom in town. And it got me thinking, you know what? This is why we do this. If you're watching this video and if you're using QuickBooks, I'm assuming you're in business. This is why when we're in business, we work hard to be better in our companies, in our communities, because what is it about? It's about family. It's about your friends. It's about your community. And I saw this, I don't know when he left me this note, but it made my day. And I can't talk about my son without talking about my daughter. My daughter is 14 and she recently started a YouTube channel. She's trying to learn animation. So if you want to make a little girl's day, subscribe to Blackout Cherries. I'm going to put a link in the description. That being said, we do have a lot to talk about. Before we get started, if you like our channel, do me a favor and subscribe. Today we are at 994 subscribers. I cannot believe it, especially when you consider the fact that statistically, only 5% of the people watching this video are subscribing. So if you want to support our channel and help us get to 1,000, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then if you like this video and you want to vote on this kind of content, you'd like to see more QuickBooks Online updates videos, go ahead and like the video itself down below, and that'll help us out a lot. And then before I really dive into the guts of today's stuff, just keep in mind, this is meant to be some education with a little bit of entertainment. So if you have some big changes you're wanting to make to your QuickBooks account, make sure you go over those with your trusted advisors first. So let's go ahead and get started with that all being said. There are 4 new updates here in January, and as I'm saying this, we still have a little bit to go, so the February updates will be coming soon. But if you use QuickBooks Checking and you're an Android user, you can now do mobile check deposit, and I will have an accompanying blog post in the bottom with a screenshot of what that looks like, okay? QuickBooks Checking came out about 2-3 years ago. It was QuickBooks foray into moving into the banking realm, as many of these tech companies have done. And they do boast that if you use a QuickBooks Checking account, that if you collect payments through your QuickBooks Payments, it is in your account automatically, which is a big thing to boast about. They also advertise that they have a very strong interest rate for savings. I believe the actual QuickBooks Checking product is underwritten or actually run by Green Dot Bank, but you'd have to double check me on that. Next, we have new QuickBooks Time setup guidelines. So QuickBooks Time, as I've talked about before, used to be T-sheets. They were acquired by QuickBooks, say 3-4 years ago. I actually just got rid of the last of my T-sheet swag the other day. Great program, obviously great program because they were acquired, but you're still working to kind of configure things so that QuickBooks Time, which used to be T-sheets, and QuickBooks Online work together seamlessly. Okay, now here at Certum, we can always help with that. We can provide demos and talk through your industry best practices and walk through the best setup for your situation. But if you're doing it yourself, they now also offer a setup guidance guide, and I'll go ahead and do a screenshot of that in the blog post as well. Next, we have Find Match for foreign transactions, which is huge because you do have foreign versions of QuickBooks Online that you can find in different regions. However, working with the US version and foreign currency can sometimes be tricky. It's really best used when you work using the US dollar. But what they have done is now when you do that, you can now use Find Match for transactions if they use foreign currency. Okay, that is huge. Now, so with the Find Match from the foreign currency bank accounts, obviously a great feature. Next, we want to also talk about batch editing for auto add bank rules. And I'm actually going to go through that here with you today. It's actually great timing because being Certum Solutions, haha, we actually closed our books for last year already. I know it's January and we can't believe that we said that, but guess what? We did it like a week or two ago. We're done. So come to Certum if you want to close your books in January, but knock on wood because hopefully we can get you fit in there. Anyway, moving on. So I need to make some cleanup. I need to clean up my bank rules because every year I have already talked about this. I spend like November and December making my strategic plan for the following year. And then as we're closing the books, we'll make those changes to reflect the structure we need to make the most effective business decisions for that next year. And so what we did this year is we adjusted some chart of accounts. We added some classes so we could track some things better. And we also started using Live Plan, which, you know, I will add to my list if y'all are interested to see what Live Plan's like. But in any case, that created some changes that need to be made with our bank rules. So I'll show you where that batch edit feature is. I can talk. If y'all ever notice, I get like halfway through these videos and I get super tongue-tied. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this part of the video, and next you see me, I'm going to be in my system and showing you around. All right, well, here we go. Okay, so right now I'm actually about to demo the batch edit rules feature. As you can see, there's a lot of red on this screen because I did make some changes for last year. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pick two of these, and I'm hitting batch actions, which is the new feature, and I'm going to go ahead and delete these rules. Okay, so you notice that those are now gone. So if you pick these from the batch actions menu, you are allowed to delete, disable rules, enable rules, or turn off auto add. We have lovers and haters of the auto add feature, in case you haven't noticed. Some people love the fact that it comes in automatically. I am actually one of those people, but our transactions are always pretty standard and come in pretty normal. If you have a lot of transactions that are kind of funky or wacky, or you do a lot of traveling and some things, you know, I could totally understand not wanting auto add turned on. So, all right. Moving on from there, I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a quick second while I get back into my sample company. Okay, we are in the Certum Cubo Advanced Demo company, which I use primarily for my QuickBooks Online demos. I also have my nonprofit demo. Y'all love that video, by the way. Thank you so much for watching it. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and talk about QuickBooks Time. We can't talk about QuickBooks Time without knowing how to turn on QuickBooks Time. So to turn on QuickBooks Time, you want to go to your gear in the top right, go to Account and Settings, okay, and you want to go to Billing and Subscription. If you don't have it turned on yet, you need to turn it on or reach out to Certum, and we may or may not have some discounts and special things we can do for you. Yes, come to Certum. Anyway, moving on. So we go ahead and subscribe to QuickBooks Time there. How do you know that QuickBooks Time is not turned on? You will not have a QuickBooks Time button in the left-hand navigation when you're entering time entries here from the new button in the top right. You can enter these without QuickBooks Time. This is what it looked like before QuickBooks Time was a thing for this for QuickBooks. When it was just T-Sheets, you didn't get all these little pop-ups going, please go to QuickBooks Time. And if you don't have it turned on for your file, you also won't get these. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit close for now. This is what it looked like before QuickBooks Time. Okay. Okay, so that being said, QuickBooks Time is super helpful if you have to track hours and you want them brought straight into your payroll for when you do payroll. If you're in professional services and things like that, you have a lot of complexity around your time tracking. It may be the fit for you, it may not be. We actually personally use Asana, and Asana just came out with a time feature in it, which we can export those reports and bring them into QuickBooks for invoicing, but that's us. That's not you. So you have to make the decision that's right for your business, and we can help you with that. Okay, so here's where QuickBooks Time is. I turned it on for this tenant right before our demo today. So you're going to see this. Let's get you up and running, schedule your call. Here's your setup tasks. Here's where you can download the mobile app. One of the things that this has that Asana does not have is GPS tracking. So you can actually see where on the map your people are. There's some really cool features that you have. And since I have turned on QuickBooks Time for this one, I can hit Open QuickBooks Time, and it brings me over to former T-Sheets. You still see it in the domain, but the QuickBooks Time program. Okay, and then just to give you a quick overview of that, you can see who's working. If we had people on the clock, it would tell you. You've got a getting started piece, which is there because we just turned this particular one on. You can add projects, customers, payroll, overtime. You've got your time clock. You can actually also get kiosks if you need in-person time clocks. You've got schedules you could do, projects, what time entries have been brought in, anybody's PTO requests. Here's your approval screen, which you have to do your approvals to have this stuff come over to QuickBooks. So keep that in mind. If you're wondering why time isn't syncing, it's probably because you haven't approved it in QB Time yet. And then you have your reports. So you have all kinds of cool reports here that'll walk you through different things. This exception report will give you some really neat information. So it's a really cool product. I love QuickBooks Time. We're also Asana addicts, so it's a really hard decision as to which one we use, but we work with Asana right now. So we've talked about mobile check deposit. We've talked about the QuickBooks Time setup. We talked about how you can now do the foreign currency bank account matching in QuickBooks Online Banking. And we've talked about the batch editing for auto bank rules. I think that's it for us. If you liked the content of this video, again, don't forget to subscribe. Leave your comments down below if you have information or questions that we can help with. And for those that don't know, that is actually the first place I go for new video ideas. I look for what people are asking for. Okay, so if you need a particular video for a particular topic, along with my ad hoc commentary throughout, I'm so sorry for having to listen to that, but that's what I do. Make sure that you leave a comment. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you during our next video. Bye.